Hi everyone, it's Dawn. Today I'm going to show you how to make keychains. I'm going to tell you the supplies that you're going to need and how I make my keychains. So here's a sample. I use little scallop shells and oyster shells. I don't put very much on my keychains because I don't think people want a whole bunch of stuff on with their keys. But here's the scallop shells that I've used. And here are the oyster shells. I just put the keychain ring, one of these little hooks, and a tassel on it. And here's another one. Okay, so the materials you're going to need are, of course, your decoupage shell. This is like a little 1-inch shell. I also have this one. This is about a 2.5 inch, but this is the one I'm going to do today. You're going to need that. You're going to need some sort of keychain ring. I like the ones with the chain already on it. You're going to need one of these hooks, or not, depends on your preference. You're going to need a bail, a jewelry bail. I use jewelry bails instead of putting holes in my shell. I find the bails a lot easier and I don't have to go through the trouble of putting holes in my shells. It comes with a bumpy side and a flat side. You're going to need a couple of jump rings. You're going to need some jewelry pliers, some resin, a glue gun, and a UV light. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my decoupage shell and I'm going to glue the bail to the position that I want it in, which is probably going to be right there in the middle of the shell. I like to glue it with the bumpy side. That's what I like to glue down. I leave the flat surface alone. So I'm going to use some hot glue to just put it in place, but it's not going to stay. You're going to need to use the UV resin to hold it down permanently. The glue alone will not hold. So I'm going to put some glue right there where I want the bail. And I'm going to take the bail. I'm going to put it bumpy side down. And I'm going to place it right where I want it. I have such a love-hate relationship with this hot glue. Okay, again, this is just to hold it in place. It's a little crooked. I'll just fix that. So, there it is. Just glued on with some hot glue. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with my resin and I'm going to build up around the bail with some resin. Now just remember, this resin is a little runny, so you just got to put a little bit at a time, and I'm going to build it up until I think it's secure enough. Okay, so you have to put the resin on and then put it under your light. So I'm just going to a little resin. I do it in little increments. I do that side, put it under the light. You can move it around so it doesn't drip all over the place. You basically want to keep it around the bail. And once that is dry enough that it's not running, then I go and add a little more there. And again, move it around so it's not running all over the place. once it dries enough to not run, then I go ahead and add some resin to the other side. I do on each side of the bale and then on the bottom of the bale. So in 3 spots. So I do side, side, and then the bottom. Now I'll go in. Now I'll go in and add some resin to the top of the bale, and it'll run down the sides just a little bit. And I will, again, roll it around so it's not running everywhere. Put it under the light. I would say, I would give this about 3 minutes or so under the light. If you ever take your work out from under the light and it's still a little tacky, you can always put it back under the light. But after like 3 minutes, let it sit for just a minute or so to set, and that tackiness might go away. You might not need it again. I usually do a few of these at a time because you can set them down and let them cure under the light. Just gonna let that go just a minute or so. A couple of seconds longer so I can show you what's next. Okay, it's not quite ready, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna move on to the next step. Okay, so now you have your bale attached to your shell, and as long as you resin it on there and you cure it correctly, it isn't going to come off. It's not going to go anywhere. So then what I do is I take my pliers, I grab a jump ring and my key ring, and I'm going to attach the jump ring to the bottom part of the chain, and I'm going to put it into the bale. If anyone's ever made jewelry before, it's the same process. And I'm going to go ahead and attach it or close it up. Can be a little finicky, but you'll get it. I mean, if you'll rock it back and forth, there we go. Okay, so that is on there, it's secured. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect my, this is just an extra thing if they want to hang it off their purse or their backpack or on something. That's why I always add this. Otherwise you can just leave the key ring on. That would be it. And then I take my little tassel. I got these off of Amazon. All these little supplies to put the key ring together I got on Amazon. And then I'm gonna take another jump ring and hook it onto the tassel, and I like to put it on the very top chain, part of the chain right there. You can attach it anywhere, really, it's preference. And I'm then going to close this up. And there you have it, a cute little keychain. And again, no holes need to be drilled, and these bales, like I said, as long as you use the resin and you build it up a little bit and you cure it correctly, giving it enough time, it ain't going anywhere. It's a lot simpler than having to put holes in your shell, and you got a cute little keychain. So I hope you liked the video. I hope I gave you some good tips, and thanks for watching. Happy decoupaging.